Under there,
Sorry.
it's subparagraph that too. It defines
They got
it
Fani
as
Willis
someone that
in
you
court right
know
now.
or should know is seeking to do or is doing with the county, correct?
Yes, but yes, yes,
That includes paid the date you filled out this form.
yes, but he never gave me a gift of $100 or more. Only thing that I would say maybe went over that, but I don't think it ever did, is if we went to dinner and my meal was $100, but I don't think I've ever eaten $100 worth of food at a restaurant, because I pay him back if we went to lunch or went to dinner. But trips, paid him.
Cap.
I never
I don't think
thought
she
about
telling the truth.
money until y'all brought it up, and I would be less than
And
honest.
she
that
wouldn't have
says
paid
I
him
was
back.
giving
Come
him
on
money
now.
back because I was the
How
district
many women you
attorney.
know will pay you back after you done took
I
them
didn't take gifts
on
from
trips
him
and all that?
for a lot of personal reasons. Anyway, I did not take gifts from him.
And so your reason for not disclosing any gifts from Mr. Wade on exhibit number 21 is that the aggregate amount on a net basis
Aggregate. I never
was
heard of
less
that.
than $100
He just made
in the
that
year
word up.
2022. Is that correct?
Aggregate. I have to look that up.
I did not accept a gift of him of more than $100 in 2022. The one exception to that, because I want us to be clear, is we probably went out to eat multiple times in the year. If you're considering eating a meal, because we went out multiple times, that probably went to the level of more than $100. But if we're doing tit for tat like that, I probably paid meals as he paid. So I did not receive any gifts from him.
The question on the form,
I understand the
the
question.
aggregate in excess of $100, and your test that you did not receive in the aggregate more than $100.
All right, Mr. McDougal, you can sit down now.
I don't believe she answered that question, Your Honor. She answered as to specific individual gifts.
And you're not listening to my answer either, so we're done.
Very well.
Okay, Mr. Rice.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Gillen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
A few questions here. You saw the book here, Find Me the Votes. That was shown to you, correct?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I would like to just tender this as an exhibit, number
Is
22.
that your copy?
It is,
All right, what exhibit is that going to be?
22.
All right.
I'm making the
Is that,
contribution here to this. Now,
well, I
Yes.
guess, hearing it, is it with position of the state?
Fine. Look at that.
There's no relevance to this one.
Mr. Gillen, are you using this to
To
confront her
impede?
with prior statements?
yes, Your Honor, and statements that she made concerning her financial situation and laying the foundation for that, and that she gave these interviews to the authors. And so this would document that, and we ask her, this in the record, ask her questions about it.
Well, we could mark it for impeachment purposes. I'm a little wary of entering an entire 300-page book because I don't know exactly what every single line, if it would pass hearsay or relevance or et cetera, but I don't think it needs to be admitted as an actual evidence for the record for you to do what you need to do with it. So
Well, Your Honor, I understand. I just would,
it's marked as
again,
Exhibit 22, and we'll move from there.
thank you, Your Honor. Now, you were asked a little bit about this book before, correct?
I think Mrs. Merchant
Ms. Merchant did.
asked me some questions, yes?
And you gave about 6 interviews to the authors of this book in the sit-down?
No, sir.
You didn't?
No.
Was it,
She answered how many interviews she gave, in her opinion.
how many, in your opinion, do you believe you gave, and how long did they last?
2 to 3, maybe 20, 30 minutes.
So your testimony is at most, do you think that you gave maybe an hour to an hour and a half's interview to the authors of this book?
Oh, you mean in total?
In total, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Anywhere between Definitely not more than 2-ish hours.
But it's like, what are they looking
But you
for?
also
Why
was
are they?
telling
Why are they even
the
questioning
title
her?
of the book,
Because
of course, is a hard charge.
were they
in
trying to
Georgia
prove that
prosecutor,
she was in a
rogue
relationship
president,
with
and the plot to
the
steal
guy that's
American election?
appointed
I had-
to
I-
What's the
prosecute
title of the
Trump?
relevant, sir?
And I had no,
And then I'm going to
That
ask
would
her
be a
whether
conflict
or
of
not that
interest,
was
I
the-
guess,
the
right?
theme that they gave her when they talked with her.
What the thing gave her, what do you mean by that?
Well, because they were sat down and they told her why they were there to interview her.
And why does that matter?
Well, I think it matters because it shows, but they want her to give her version of what her. This is almost a life story of her. So that's why it's relevant. But if the court thinks it's not, then
No, it could be relevant to your issue of the
But he
forensic
recently
misconduct that has been
filed
alleged,
for
and
divorce.
maybe some of the motives
Is it
at
from
play when it
sleeping
comes to
with,
forensic misconduct.
you know,
but I'm
the
not
DA?
seeing, again, what we're here for today was the relationship and/or any financial element.
that
Well, I
even
think it's
mattered,
clearly
you know,
relevant to
does
the,
his personal life, does their
forensic
personal
misconduct,
life have a
also
conflict
relevant
with their
personal
job?
interest in terms of the
That's the
finances.
question.
Let me. if
I didn't make
can,
10
I'll-
cents off that book.
Pardon me?
I didn't make 10 cents off that book. I
Didn't
didn't,
ask whether you made any money.
okay, I just,
Didn't ask whether you made any money.
Do you have any other statements that she hadn't already been confronted with by Ms. Merchant?
Well, other than, I want to focus on, when you were telling them about your financial straits and you're living kind of month to month, that is what your financial status was back in 2018 after your election,
Mr.
correct?
Gillen, we length, and you're at the end of the line. I'm sorry about that, but we're ground.
Well, and let me move on to my point here. So the point is that what you're telling us is that you were in financial straits, but really that your testimony today is you had a cash hoard of maybe up to $10,000 in cash where you laid your head at night so that you would dip out and there would be no record of it, correct?
that's not what I'm telling you, sir. That's not at all what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is that throughout the course of my life, I always kept cash in my house. That cash has ranged from times, you know, my father would probably be ashamed of this because he would say it should be more. But that cash at times has ranged from $500 to maybe $9,000. And he would be like, that is not what I told you to do. I've always had that amount of money. What I've told you is that when I travel, you do better negotiating if you have cash. You go to get the cash. Oh, we're going to charge you $300 for the day. Well, I got American cash. Will you take $50? And so it's my practice when I travel. We're not talking about a whole lot of money. We're going to the Bahamas. $1,500 in cash is in my pocket, or at the most $2,500. Belize was actually probably the most money I've ever taken. And it was taken because it was a big deal. My 50th birthday sucked. His 50th birthday, it sucked. It was terrible. No.
Your Honor,
And
I'd
so
like to get back to some questions here.
I'm trying to answer it.
The
I think it
narrative.
would help if we.
So let's
get a question here.
move to the specific yes or no's here. Have you told us today that you would keep a cash hoard in your residence up to about $9,000? Yes or no?
And throughout the course of my adult life. And so let's even be more specific than that. Probably from the time,
Your Honor, I'm only asking for yes or no rather than.
But
No, we have already. I
But yeah,
need to
but
get
I'm
to that
trying to-
point.
I'm
I know
trying
you're
to
laying the
move forward
foundation, but
other
it's already
than-
been laid. So
Yeah.
The filibuster is here. I'm trying to move through the filibuster.
yeah, but we're not talking about a lot of, and so it could be 2,000, it could be 1,500, it could be 7,500. It just depends on what you're doing at that time. When I traveled, I took cash. I find that when you travel, especially to foreign countries, the American dollar does well, and it's good to have cash. You can negotiate with the taxi driver, with the jet skis, and it's not a lot of money we're talking about.
Your Honor, we
Understood,
need
Ms.
to,
Wells.
we need
Let's
to
get
cut
to it.
off the.
let's get to a
narrative
question, Mr.
and,
Gillen.
And so, cash in your, but you had a lien, a tax lien on your property, is that right?
I don't believe I had a tax lien on my property.
You didn't have a tax lien on your property?
You gotta talk up louder, Mr. Hunt. We already covered that, Mr. Gillen. I need new ground here.
I'm asking the question, I'm trying to figure out how someone can have a tax
Then
lien,
ask that question.
but not use the money that they allegedly said they have.
Well, I think Ms. Merchant asked that exact same question. She said she didn't use the money to pay her tax lien. So what's your question that's new?
So I was going to build on,
No more building. It's already built.
All right.
It's the same way you pay a bill.
So just put
It's
the
a-
top on it if you need to,
It's
okay?
a, owe a bill and go shopping.
Well, now, have you ever used, did you say earlier that you used Cash App?
When I would pay Robin Bryant, I used Cash App.
What is Cash App for the record?
I don't need to know that for the record. Let's keep going.
Well, so if you're paying Robin with Cash App, why aren't you paying, allegedly paying,
There's no alleged,
why aren't you paying allegedly Mr. Wade with Cash App?
I don't think Mr. Wade does.
Did you ask him?
I think he's told me he doesn't do Cash App.
Okay, so that's the reason why you didn't use Cash App,
He's sitting next to me. I hand him the money.
because there would be a record in Cash App of your making payments, correct?
Yes,
Right.
but I didn't think that I was a record in a personal relationship.
Because when you're filing your, and I know that I'm going to move into this financial statement here. You were asked just a second ago about your non-disclosure form, or your disclosure form of an Exhibit 21, where we agree that Mr. Wade is a prohibited source, correct?
What I agree to is, I don't believe he's giving me gifts. You would like to classify these trips as gifts, but I've always paid my fair share on these trips, so I didn't not look at them as gifts. I don't think that what this is disclosing, and they can tell me if they mean something different, I don't think it means that if you go to dinner with somebody over the course of a year and it gets to 100, you're supposed to report it. If my understanding of that is wrong, I've probably been to lunches with a couple of people that over the course of a year, they paid, I paid.
Let me, prohibited source means,
We already went over this, Mr. Gillen. Mr. McDougal.
well, Your Honor, I have to lay the foundation here before I can follow up with my next question.
I don't, you have to.
Well,
It's already, the
okay,
questions have been made.
Then your 2022 disclosure form did not list any of the thousands and thousands of dollars that Mr. Wade paid for on trips that you were on.
Objection.
Isn't that correct?
That's because Mr. Wade was paid money back, or he was paid due to the fact that I bought the plane ticket, or I paid for the hotel. There were never money that he gave me. That wasn't the nature of our relationship. You know, there's so many men, and Mr. Wade is one of them, where the nature of the relationship is they're just paying a woman. The nature of our relationship is companionship and friendship, despite the way people would like to paint certain women.
I don't know what just happened, but let's see. Let's get back on.
That of any other witness until tomorrow morning. Back here, and we'll begin again at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. We'll do 9 a.m. this time.
I think that's the
tomorrow.
end, but
Before
that's
we,
crazy even seeing her on the
recess
stand
for
like that.
today, I want to check in on
But
logistics.
the whole thing is
And
she was sleeping with the guy and the money issue, and she saying that she was paying him back. I don't know. That sounded like she was lying. I don't know how many people get took out on dates, you know, and then turn around and you know, they get paid back. You know, it happens, but I don't see that happening. I don't see her getting took out on a date and then paying them back. I don't see that happening, man. I don't know why they asking all this. I guess because why he was appointed, uh, over Trump, and that could be retaliation. You know, I don't know. That could be payback now. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I want y'all opinion. Let me know in the comments or whatever. Voice box of the block, man. Thank y'all again. Y'all have a good one. Appreciate you.